Hey, good morning everybody, Doobie here, and this morning we are headed to the island of Ibiza, in Ibiza Town. Gonna go climb some castle walls and see what else we find. So join us today for this episode of Traveling with the Doobies. Overnight we have sailed the coast of Menorca and around the southern flank of the island of Mallorca, and we can now see the island of Ibiza, but we aren't scheduled to be cleared until noon today, so there's time for a more leisurely breakfast outside at the colonnade. And there's even time to hit the gym before the Encore makes a right turn into Ibiza Harbor. The cruise port in Ibiza, while not very close to the town center, is a large and modern facility hosting multiple ferries that we have seen come and go as we rotate towards our berth. So we're currently in the process of pivoting the ship, and then we're going to back into that berth right over there. And you see that's where the cruise ship dock is, and wait for it. How do we get to town? And there's town. So they got a shuttle. The port hosts about 190 cruise ships annually, with an estimated 516,000 passengers scheduled on those ships for 2025. The port also maintains restrictions of no more than 2 cruise ships in port at any given time, and no more than 3,000 passengers waiting to disembark for any given ship. All this in an effort to help manage overcrowding on the island's beaches and in the main tourist sites. You like that? We're in Ibiza. Okay, so a warning about Ibiza is, so it's that far ship all the way to the shuttle. The shuttle service Seabourn arranged for us was pretty good, with buses pulling in about every 10 minutes or so, at least as the first waves of us exited the terminal. From the cruise port to our bus drop-off point was a little over 2 miles. No, it would be a nice jog, but it's no leisurely walk, and the scenery is mostly offices, hotels, and a large mall. So, not a lot of charm until you get to the old city. Okay, so here's where they drop us off. Yeah, we're nowhere near town. Alright, let's go see Ibiza. From the shuttle bus drop point to the entrance of the Dalt Vila portal, it's about a half a mile, so definitely bring good walking shoes. Look at this, we've gone all this way and we're still in Gloucester. As we enter the lower town, our first task is to find the main entrance into the Dalt Vila, or the old city. Hey, can you help me out, bud? How are you? Hound dog? Not following a map, my strategy was to walk the streets until we hit a big wall, and then follow it around to the left, and voila! See a road up. Doobie logic worked. This time. The main entrance into the Dalt Vila is a Portal de Seabourn, an impressive and beautiful start to our upward trek to the top of the old town. A good number of restaurants and shops just inside are now closed for the season, and we are greeted by construction and maintenance projects taking advantage of the light tourist traffic in mid-November. While the history of Ibiza is similar to that of our other island stops, with Stone Age societies as the earliest inhabitants, the settlement and the name of the island comes from the Phoenicians, who set up a trading port around 654 BC and named the island Ibosim. And that translates into Island of Fragrance. Carthaginian, Roman, and Vandal occupation of the island followed until 902, when the island came under the Taifa of Denia, under the Moorish kingdom. Now, under Moorish rules, improvements were made in the areas of water management, defense, and agriculture, and the Moors remained for over 300 years until James I of Aragon brought the island under the control of Catalonia. Legend has it that a jealous brother of the emir showed the Catalonian invaders the secret tunnel entrance into the Dalt Vila, allowing them to capture the fortification from the inside in 1235. Today on Doobie Death March Castle Edition in Ibiza. What followed was the enslavement and expulsion of the Muslim residents of Ibiza, and a new population from Catalonia moved in from the mainland. The bastions in place today were built in the 16th century by orders of King Charles I and King Philip II in order to withstand attacks from the Ottomans and the French, and they have done so with impressive success. No Ottomans are slinging cannonballs at us today. One of the most charming things about the old city is there is something interesting in just about every small nook and alley. As we near the lower bastions, we find an art installation inside a barrel-vaulted barracks.
Nice little discovery.
Walking the walls, we come across the whitewashed building of Plaza España and the statue of Guillaume de Montgrí, who arrived in Ibiza with James I of Aragon on August 8, 1235, and was Archbishop of the Tarragon region. The statue we see is a duplicate and a gift given in 1970 to Ibiza from Girona, Italy, where Guillaume is entombed. Just inside is another wonderful and light-filled gallery, all free to enter. Up and around another corner, we find the convent of St. Christophel, where the sisters bake and sell all kinds of treats. The sister was just about to close up shop for siesta, but she kept it open for us to buy a small bag of goodies. One more winding, steep stretch up Carrer Major, and we arrive at the Plaza de la Catedral. Here there are more beautiful views of the town below, and we poke our heads inside the Cathedral of Santa Maria as Mass is just beginning. Out on the defense tower, we come to the end of our climb, and we're greeted by a white pigeon, and that's gotta be a good omen for the rest of our travels, right? On this uppermost level of Dalt Vila, there's a medieval armory and passage to a second tunnel entrance that leads to the parking structure.
The doobie made it to the top.
As for us, it's time to start heading back down the hill, and we make a short stop at Museu Puget. Here's another free gallery. The museum set in a 15th century manor house is the home of works of Narcís Puget Vilas and his son Narcís Puget Reguer, and includes watercolors and photography among other works from the father and son. The building itself is also worth wandering through. As well, there are drawing supplies provided for use by guests and clean restrooms just inside the doors.
Okay, we got our Nun Cookies. A little treat for hitting the top. Now we're headed back down in Ibiza Town.
On the way back down, we intentionally try to get lost down some smaller alleyways, and here's where you find people really living in the old city. There's the smell of fresh laundry drying in the breezes, the smell of Saturday night supper cooking, and even a local tour guide helping us find our way back to the main gate. Okay, the crickets are chirping and more shops are locking up for either a late afternoon siesta or they may even be closing down for the remainder of the weekend. As we exit the old city, we find Medfit Culture hanging out at a local cafe. So, I think a snack and a cerveza pequeño is in order. It's been a fascinating, if all too brief visit to Ibiza Town, and eye-opening since mostly you only hear about the wild nightlife, clubs, and sun-drenched hangovers on the beaches. I can imagine a return in the off-season, though, to enjoy all the aspects of this small island without the party scene. But we have to have a little club life, right?
It's the closest we're going to get to the clubbing in Ibiza.
Okay, that's enough. We head back to the shuttle and the race is on. Will we beat MedFit culture back to the ship? Well, of course we did. I mean, it's 2 frickin' miles. Back at the cruise port, Donna heads back to the boat to get ready for the evening, but I see a nice little lighthouse just past the cruise terminal, so let's go check that out. The lighthouse is the Faro de Botafoc. Botafoc meaning fire starter in Catalan. Yeah, get those thoughts out of your mind. The 30-meter high lighthouse was commissioned in 1861. Close to the lighthouse, we have a small rocky beach. No partiers out on this stretch of the Ibiza coast. So I head back towards the port and notice that there's a few mountain bikers heading up a small hill filled with villas tucked into the trees. So let's go for one more climb. At the top of the hill, we encounter amazing views of Talamanca Bay and the beach of the same name. We also find the ruins of anti-aircraft guns that were installed during the Franco regime. Now they're nothing but concrete circles and some interconnecting tunnels, mostly full of rubbish. And no, I'm not heading down into those tunnels. That might really be a death march. Now, with all the peace and beauty, do I really want to head back to the Encore? Okay, there are more places we need to see on this trip, and besides, all my doobie computer stuff is in the cabin, so back to the ship life I go. I know, rough life. Oh man, terminal's looking pretty empty. I better hustle. A couple of nice perks of being a regular on Seabourn are free streaming Wi-Fi, which has really come in handy, and unlimited laundry service. And on a 21-day cruise, it's nice not to have to spend time fighting over machines in the self-serve laundrette. Our laundry came back within 48 hours. Very nice. Tonight we are having a show before dinner with Emma and the band hosting a Jazz at the Club pre-dinner show. It was great. I felt I was being watched the whole time.
Just to be sad, thinking of you.
For dinner tonight, it's wine-braised veal cheek, seared scallops, and lamb chops. Our desserts, well, of course, Donna Doobie's pâte de crème, Grand Marnier soufflé, and a tri-level chocolate cake. And if you need more, there's always a selection of petit fours, or is it petit fours? Food to sleep by. Overnight, we will leave the islands and head to the Murcia region of Spain. See you there. Good night.